No.
How about this? Testing. They say pictures or it didn't happen. Okay, we're going.
Hi everyone, we are so unbelievably honored and excited to be here with you today. I want to start by thanking Aja, Olga, and CJ for everything that they have done. And I want to thank our entire national team, or as I think of them, my Indivisible group. Our Indivisible group, who helped make this weekend possible. We can just have a round of applause for everybody. By taking us back to a place that nobody likes very much, and I promise it's going to get better. Sorry, we're going now. Can I ask everyone in this room to just raise your hand if sometime in the weeks after 2016, the 2016 election, you got together with your friends or your family or your neighbors and you said, in somebody's living room, I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something. Just raise your hands.
Yeah.
We did too. The Saturday morning after the election, we got together with our friends in our living room to talk about what just hit us and what we needed to do. Because as they're very organized, we took notes, and so we have an agreement about the three big problems we were facing. First, the incoming Trump administration was going to wage an all-out war on everything we held dear. Second, there was this rising tide of white supremacy, white nationalism, and authoritarianism that was threatening our country. Third, the Democratic Party did not seem like they had any idea what to do about any of this. And in that first meeting, we had no answers. We were just sad and lost and scared and by the end, slightly drunk together. But over the next few weeks, we realized that actually the answer had been in that meeting, or at least it had been in the meetings like that were happening all over the country. That in every community, in every town, in every county, people have been getting together in living rooms, in churches, in synagogues, in libraries, and they've been looking for answers, they've been looking for a way to fight back. And we thought, as former congressional staffers, maybe what we could do was take what we knew about how Congress worked and put it out into the world, so that everybody who was getting ready to resist would have a guidebook, a playbook for action. So we started writing a school now, because that was what we could do. We called it Indivisible, because we believed that this was a moment when everything that we held dear was under threat, and the only way we could fight back was if we stood together. We put it online in December. Within a few hours, we were hearing from people all over the country. People who were scared and angry like us, but also determined and hopeful. From red states and blue states, from Florida and Minnesota and Arizona and New York, people who hadn't been waiting for Washington, who had already been gathering their neighbors to take action. And it was coming and building, and we knew even in that moment that in response to something terrible, something beautiful was happening. The people were rising up to change this country.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask who in this room helped defeat Trump care? Can I ask who in this room has fought back against Trump's attacks on refugees, on immigrants, on people of color? Can I ask who in this room has helped make sure that Democrats stand up and fight for our values? Can I ask who in this room helped convince a Republican to retire? Who in this room built the blue wave? That's right. Working together, we've changed what is politically possible in this country. We have done it by building power locally, we have done it by coordinating nationally, and now we're here to talk about what comes next, and that's saving American democracy.
I don't know how I had to follow Leah. This seems very it is incredible to be here, y'all. I am blown away. 2 years, 9 months ago, we were sitting on our kitchen table eating soup, and we thought we'd tweet out this document. And to be here with all of y'all now is absolutely mind-blowing. From California to Texas to New Jersey to Maine to Hawaii, Utah, The Indivisible groups here are incredible. I can't wait to spend the next couple days with y'all. We've got 15 minutes to talk about saving democracy, so I'm going to get right into it. I think we have 3 topics to cover. I'm going to talk about the problems facing us. Leah is then going to dive into a little bit of what the future looks like. What is the future we want to see? Not just 2020, but what does the 2021 democracy look like? And then we're going to talk about how we get there. Easy things, we should be wrapped up soon. So look, we all started in response to Trump's election. That's how we got into this. The Indivisible guide came out in December 2016. Oh, are you all not hearing me? Oh, yeah. Wow. Thanks. This is probably goes together. Okay, so we all got started after the 2016 election. But look, we know that Trump is a symptom. He is a bile, spewing, grotesque symptom. But he is still a symptom of this much deeper illness that is afflicting our democracy. For years, we have 15 minutes left. For years, Republican elites have been systematically undermining democracy. I want to tell you about this guy, Paul Weyrich. Y'all ever heard of him? Yeah. Paul Weyrich is the co-founder of the very conservative, very damaging Heritage Foundation. He is one of the architects of the modern Republican Party. And 40 years ago, 4 decades ago, he said, and I quote, to a public audience, I quote, "I don't want everybody to vote. Our leverage in elections, quite candidly, goes up as the voting populace goes down. I don't want everybody to vote." Look, these Republican strategists are not dumb. Most of them are not dumb. They know that the country is getting more diverse and more unequal. They know that if we have a truly representative democracy that actually reflects the will of the people, they lose. They understand that. So the Republican playbook is really simple. You get power, you rig the rules of the game to entrench your power. That's it. And how do you do that? You rig the rules so your election is a safe election. You're in a safe district. You disenfranchise young people and communities of color. You pack the courts with ideologues who uphold your laws and strike down your opponents' laws. You systematically undermine the power bases of your opponents. You attack organized labor. You attack communities of color. You attack immigrants. You attack LGBTQ communities. You attack women. You amp up your own base and you engage in a divide and conquer strategy systematically to undermine democracy. So this is the cycle. They take power. They rig the rules. They entrench their power. That is what we see again and again. This is the authoritarian playbook. And this is why we see this is going on right now, not just Trump. This is why we see Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, calls himself the Grim Reaper. Please boo. This is why we see him on the floor of the U.S. Senate calling D.C. statehood and voting rights socialism and a power grab. That's what he calls it. This is why we see him right now blocking election security legislation from getting a vote in the Senate. Mitch McConnell and his ilk and the rest of them understand that the #1 threat to their agenda is a truly functioning representative democracy. So they treat it that way. So yes, Trump plays this game, but he did not invent this game. He did not invent it. These elite Republicans have been playing for a really long time, and they are close to winning it for good. Look, folks, I am incredibly excited to be here with all of y'all because the stakes are incredibly high. If we fail in 2020, that could be it. If Trump stays in office, that could be it. We have lost then the courts for a generation. They will systematically dismantle every part of our democratic institutions. So we've got to win in 2020. Full stop. Is not enough because we are going to win in 2020, but we've got to talk about the inclusive democracy we're going to build together in 2021. And Leah's going to tell us.
Now, before we go any farther, I want to pause and talk about why we say inclusive democracy. Because this fight is about money in politics, and it's about the Supreme Court, and it's about election security. But it's also about El Paso and Charlottesville and Ferguson. On the door from ICE destroys their family. The reason Republicans can break our democracy is because because they can draw on a well of hatred that is as old as America itself. They can tap into white supremacy to pit us against each other. It's a divide and conquer strategy, and there's no resistance that doesn't start with recognizing that fact, because we can't just resist Trump. We resist the forces that allowed Trump to rise. That's why we call it. Because when we fight back, we recognize that this is a fight about democracy, and it's a fight about who deserves a voice and a vote in this country. It's about who counts as American. It's about who deserves safety and dignity for their families. Their goal is permanent minority rule for a small group of rich white men. Our goal is a truly inclusive democracy for the first time in our country's history. And I want to say one more thing. We're standing up here talking, but when we talk about the ways that our democracy has been rigged, we're reflecting back what we hear from you. The number one concern we hear from individuals all over the country is about the state of our democracy in our country. Let me ask, who here has fought an uphill battle to win a state district or a congressional district that is outrageously gerrymandering? Who here has seen the impact of voter suppression in their state firsthand? Who here has already been fighting in their state for voting rights, for fair elections, for representation? All right. I want to take this one step further. What we have heard from you in so many ways, in your actions and your words, is the movement to resist Trump is a movement for inclusive democracy. Does that sound right? That's good, because that's why we're here today.
Okay, so Leah started us in this really dark place. Sorry. Now let's imagine this future we're building together. Let's imagine it's 2021. We've been wildly successful. We've taken the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Hey, good job, y'all. We are living in this great new world, right? And what we see is the answer to the crisis facing our democracy right now is more democracy. The answer to Trump and decades of Republicans' attack on our democratic institutions is to put power in the hands of the people. It's that simple. And this isn't a new idea for Indivisible. The very idea behind the Indivisible is speaking so people can hear you. And also, the idea is that in a representative democracy, your representatives ought to represent you. That's a radical idea because it's not true right now. We're going to make it. So what does that mean? We've got to smash voter suppression. We've got to end gerrymandering. We've got to unpack the courts. We've got to ensure that D.C. and any territory that wants it has full representation in Congress. We've got to make sure our elections are actually free from foreign interference. We've got to actually reform the media environment so we don't have fake news assaulting us on all sides. We've got to actually create public financing so our elections can't be bought and sold. It should not be that controversial. It should be easy to vote and hard to steal elections, folks. That's the idea. And we're going to make it that way. That's what we're working towards. Democracy is a good in and of itself. We're fighting for these democratic reforms. But also, if you ask yourself, why on earth can Congress not even get a vote on climate legislation or gun violence prevention legislation or new health care legislation? It's because we have a democracy that doesn't reflect the will of the people. When we make these reforms, when we actually make our democracy representative, that's how we get everything else we want to get done. And we can do that in 2021 if we demand it. So yes, right now, there is gridlock. Nothing is happening. But there are moments in history where that's not the case. There are moments in history where things move very quickly, where you're actually able to get stuff done. So when I talk about building this trifecta government, building power at the House, the Senate, and the presidential level, the reason why we're doing that is to create this rare moment. The reason we're doing that is so in 2021, we're both reforming democracy and passing this crucial legislation on climate, on healthcare, on gun violence prevention. That is what we are building towards. So, are y'all in for that? It's not the hard part. She's going to tell us how we do it.
All right. So the plan to do that has three parts. We need to resist, we need to win, and we need to demand democracy. All right. So first, resisting. This is not rocket science. The folks in this room know this well. The best way to weaken your opponent is to start a long time before the election by blocking what they want to do and reducing the harm and setting them up for the worst possible election. We can't just skip the election. That's not how this works. Trump is going to keep launching attacks on immigrants. He's going to keep ignoring subpoenas. He is going to continue endangering American democracy. We got to fight back this year. That means impeachment.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about whether impeachment is a good or bad thing for Democrats. I want to be really clear. Being impeached is a bad thing for Trump. It is politically damaging for presidents to get impeached. I can't believe we're having this conversation. And what's more, if the House impeaches Republican senators in states where Trump is underwater, Maine, Colorado, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, they have to vote on whether to, they have to vote on whether to convict. They don't want to do that. We would like them to do that because we want to win the Senate. This should be a fight we need to have. But what we've seen over the last 9 months is not enough to put Democrats in office. We have to push them to stand up for our values and do their jobs. Impeachment proceedings are underway now. They were a month ago. That's because of you. Second, we're putting our movement weight behind the one major legislative fight that we know is shaping up in Washington this year. This is the fight coming up in the fall. Trump is going to make one last push for his wall, for his deportation course, for his anti-immigrant hate machine. This is the white hot core of Trumpism. He ran on immigration in 2016, 2018. He spent his time in office doing everything he can to prosecute that agenda. For every story you've seen about family separation and concentration camps, every time we say, why can't we do something? This is how we do it. We cut their money. We hit them where it hurts. But that's not a sure thing either. Like impeachment, it's not going to happen unless Democrats hear from you. And that's why on Saturday. That's why on Monday, we're all going to the Hill, and we are going to talk to them directly. And before that, you are going to hear directly from movement partners and experts about what this fight means and how we can stand in solidarity with communities that are under attack. All right, who's here to Capitol Hill Monday? All right. Then let's talk about winning. All right. I want to start by saying Indivisible is going to measure its success at the end of 2020 on whether we have an incoming Democratic presidency, Congress, and state governments. If you're here, you're part of achieving that. Full stop. Now, if you check the news over the last few months, you might have noticed we're in the middle of a presidential primary. I want to be clear. Indivisible is taking whoever wins the Democratic primary, and we're going to make that person president. That's the point of the Indivisible Pledge. Whichever major candidate is signed, that's how we start and end every conversation in this movement. But we gotta talk about the primary. And before I say anything else, I want to recognize and hold space for the real fear and pain that we all feel around primaries. We're a movement of folks who found our voices and our leadership and our people by standing up and resisting. Everyone in this room is responsible for a community, for building change, for something so much bigger than yourselves. You've built something precious. You're scared about what the primary means. I feel that because I'm scared about what it means too. I feel like I've built something precious too. But I also feel like here together today, in the same place, we actually get to talk about all our fears for the primary. And we get to talk about our hopes. And we'll get to talk about what a primary actually means. Now, there have been rumors flying around that Indivisible is making its own endorsement or building a secret endorsement process. I want to be super clear, that is not a thing.
Yeah, good.
Indivisible is a movement of leaders. There will be no Indivisible endorsement unless the leaders of Indivisible support making an endorsement. not just about how to build power, but how to use that power to change the world. I'm not honoring that responsibility if I don't stand up here and tell you that it's possible that everything else hinges on who wins this primary. Is our nominee going to be able to bring together a powerful coalition that can beat Trump? Are they going to have the courage and vision to do what it takes to deliver on the structural changes that we need to shift power in this country so democracy works for all of us? Are they going to deliver on everything that we care about, healthcare, climate change, immigration reform, gun control? It matters who our nominee is because we're going to make that person president. That's why I'm not doing my job if I don't ask you if you believe that it matters who wins this primary.
Yes.
If you think at some point in the primary, not now, but eventually, as the field narrows, that choice will become clear. I'm not doing my job if I don't challenge you one leader to another. That's what that means for you. To ask a simple question. If we care who wins, what should we do to make that world possible?
Let black women decide.
We're not interested about you, but we're not going to hide the ball here. We believe you should have this conversation, and we're going to ask you to have that conversation today. No decisions, not from us, not from you. We want to talk about our fears and hopes. We want to talk about the world we build together. Can I have that commitment to have the conversation from both sides? And that brings me to the fun part of winning, which is totally destroying Republicans. Electro. Who here's from a state that's going to help us take the Senate? Who's working on a congressional district that's going to hold or expand the House? Who's fighting for a state legislature? Who doesn't even know how to answer this question because you're going to do all the things? We know this fight looks different based on where you are, but we know we're all going to be in it together, and we know we're going to come out the other side. Together.
We're getting the stop signals and we're just driving right through them. But we're gonna end very soon. We got to step 3. So step 1 was resist. We resisted. Step 2 was winning. We won. And step 3 is actually demanding the reforms to save democracy. Now it's step 3, but this isn't the last part of the process. This starts now. Because if we don't start demanding that our elected officials and the people who want to be our elected officials actually prioritize democracy, it's not going to happen. So step 3 is now. That's what this weekend is about. That's what we're doing here, discussing how we actually demand it. Now, what we know is that people are going to be asking for your votes, whether it's the president or whether it's Congress or Senate. They're going to be asking you to get behind them, and you're going to be asking them for commitments. How are you actually going to use that power if we give it to you in 2021? We're going to be talking about that this weekend. We're going to go into the details of the strategy and the specific policy reforms with some experts around the field to actually get into what are we asking people for. So we won't spend more time now because we're already out of it. But these are big ideas. These are big ideas. This is a big strategy, and it's not going to just suddenly happen in 2021. It's going to happen because we methodically build the movement in support of democracy over the course of the next 2 years. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing this weekend. For the next 2 days, we're going to talk about the substance. We're going to talk about the strategy. We're going to meet each other. We're going to lift up each other. We're going to drink a lot together. We're going to celebrate the victories. We're going to learn the skills necessary to actually build this strategy and be heard. I didn't do this that well. But, y'all, this is all an experiment. 2 years, 9 months ago, we were on a Google Doc. That's all this was. What we are developing, what we're building together. Every piece of it has been built together. Indivisible is somewhat unique on the political landscape. We are not a command and control operation. That's not what we're doing here. We are a movement of local leaders leading groups independently. You all are leading this movement, and we're building this power together. So this uniqueness, the fact that it's not command and control, the fact that you are building this on your home turf, that's how we defeated Trump here. That's how we turned the tax scam into a political liability. That's how we reached Congress. And that's how we're doing it. So, we've got a big task in front of us, folks. We're building power to save democracy. And so I've got one question left for this group. It's really more of a request. Could you all show me what democracy looks like? Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what